Hello, folks. This is my year in review of firearms. As you see, there are magazines there, catalogs, because I don't have a decent backdrop. I'm not like some other people that really have these really great backdrops and graphics. I usually film off of my cell phone, which is a Note 5. So 2016 has been a really crazy year, and we've seen the good, the bad, the ugly in 2016. And we had an interesting year in firearms as well, uh, as far as legislations, laws, and so forth. And it's been a crazy year, especially with the election. So I'm going to give you a few things I thought about the year, and I'm going to give you what I consider my award ceremony for some of the products that were out in year of 2016. And I'm recording this right now. It's 2017. If I didn't say it, Happy New Year. So hang on, and I'll give you some notes. Okay, like I said, excuse my props. My props aren't the best in the world. But right now, you see on my computer, there's a picture of a young lady. And if anybody knows who she is, her name is Jenny Thrasher. She was the first gold medalist this year in 2016. She's the first gold medalist for the United States Olympic team, and she won the first gold medal in air rifle competition. She won in the women's 10 millimeter air rifle. So that was a pretty good start for the United States Olympic team, and really a lot of good props to her. I mean, she's really shooting a firearm at age 19, and she's about 5'1" with 119 pounds, and the gun looks almost bigger than she is. But we give her a lot of props, and thanks for her winning this gold medal for the United States Olympic team. Okay, getting on with this so-called award ceremony of mine. Uh, this year, there was 2016 was the year of the Bianchi Cup, and I'm nominating the handgun of the year to be the XDM. The XDM is from Springfield Armory, and the XDM in the 2016 NRA Bianchi Cup took in the production class first, second, and third place. First, second, and third place were by various shooters, very famous shooters. One being Adam Sokolsky, Michael Gasser, and of course, everybody knows third place was taken by Rob Latham. Rob Latham, of course, had a lot to do with the uh, design of the XDM 5.25, and this is the one that I own. I own this one. This one is in 45 ACP. And Rob Latham is a very competitive shooter, as we know. He, unfortunately, he came in third place. He wasn't happy about coming in third place, but he was happy that the XDM from Springfield took first, second, and third place in the Bianchi Cup in the production class. So, hats off to Rob Latham and those other two that were before him for getting the first, second, and third place in the production class. Okay, I have another firearm here. This is my M&P 15 AR-15 rifle, and I have nominated this rifle as the rifle of the year. Reason being is because uh, for this price point that you can pay for this particular rifle, you could spend anywhere, depending on where you are in the country, from $600 to $700. You got a decent rifle that's really a good rifle at its price point, and its accuracy is very adequate. As you see, I added a few things on mine, such as the scope here, which I'll get back to in another portion of this, and hand guards, and of course the Picatinny rail. But this is the firearm that I call the YouTuber's uh, rifle. I call it the YouTuber's rifle because if you do a search for the M&P 15, you will find this rifle So many YouTube videos about it. And again, like I said, the price point is very, very good, especially for an entry level or somebody that's experienced. They can do what they want with this rifle. So this is why I like this particular rifle. It got me into rifle shooting more than I have been, and because I was absent from it for so long. And I would also like to say these are, like I said, my personal opinions. I would appreciate any other comments that you have, but yes, this is one of my choices that I picked for Rifle of the Year. Okay, moving down the line for Gun Manufacturer of the Year. Uh, you should recognize both of these firearms. This the other one you just saw earlier. This is the Springfield XDM 5.25, and this is my Springfield 1911 loaded. And I pick this company because of its commitment to making newer, aggressive, and new type of firearms. They've come, almost every year come out with something new, or they attempt to do something new, whether it can be a small thing or a minor thing that they can do. Like here's the Springfield Armory sight right here. As you see, there is the their first AR-15, which is called the Saint, and as you see, the Saint is came out late to the AR-15 party. In addition to the Saint, they came out with also other firearms. This is one of the new XDMs that they have. This is the one with their OSP sights. What they do is like a lot of the firearms today are going with their modular optic systems. And this is one of the examples of their new firearms. So they have their own version, similar to how Glock has its MOS system. So this is their own version of that. Of course, they came out with another type of firearm. This is the XD. It's a XD Mod 2 with grip zone. As you see, this is a new product that they came out with this year, and this year it's very, very popular. They're really pushing this design where it has the grip zone instead of people having to add, let's say, changing back straps. This doesn't have interchangeable back straps. They claim that the grip works proper the first time. And as you see, you have well, these are suppressor height sights as well as the threaded barrel. This is for this particular version of the XD Mod 2. And this is your standard XD Mod 2. As you see, this is in the regular black color, fiber optic sights, and the grip zone is standard. And of course, I've mentioned about the Saint. The Saint is about $800 on MSRP. It's a shame that this didn't come out sooner. It probably could have competed as a budget AR-15 against maybe Smith & Wesson or maybe the Ruger 5.56. So this is one of the few reasons why I've chose Springfield Armory as one of the firearms companies to beat, because they're constantly pushing out new product lines. And a lot of people know that the Springfield has also included the M1A series, and that's what they're pretty much popular for. But I'm pretty sure this company is going to start and will keep making other products down the line. And my up and coming firearms company. Up and coming firearms company to me means a company that's really not getting a lot of praise, or they're little well known, or they're known in some circles. Is FN. Fabrique Nationale is one of the companies that started with Browning and so forth, and way back when. But they've been a U.S. based company in Virginia, and they have been supplying our militaries with certain firearms, such as the I believe it's the Scar, or it's escaping me right now, but they've supplied a lot of firearms to our U.S. militaries, and they're still being used today overseas right now with special units and so forth. What I like about this company is, like I said, they are a company that's in the U.S. and like I said, they don't get enough credit, and I think we're so enamored by the bigger companies such as Glock that we really don't give this company a chance. So this is why I said they're an up and coming company. They do have a shooting team. They usually use the FNS long slide, and they've been doing pretty well. I don't really know too much how their team is doing, but this is a company that to be reckoned with probably in the future, and they are a good supplier to law enforcement as well. So take a chance and take a look at these firearms and your gun shops. I've taken a look, and I might be considering picking one up eventually. Now, I listed FN as an up and coming U.S. firearms company, but right now, here's my up and coming import firearms company, and it is CZ. CZ is one of the fine firearms companies out there. Of course, they're from the Czech Republic. They do supply a lot of firearms across the world for their militaries and police departments over in the Eastern Bloc. A lot of competition shooters are starting to have these in IPSC and ISP. I forget the acronyms, but it's usually for shooting teams and so forth that go across the country, and a lot of them are using the CZ SP01 or using other variants of that particular firearm, and they are a very good up and coming company. And I've been looking at some of their products lately, looking at a lot of them. What's new with this company is they have a new polymer gun. It's called the CZP10, and it's a really nice firearm. I don't know if you could see it right real close, but this is that particular firearm right there. It's and there's the compact version up here, but a lot of people are raving about it at gun reviewers. Also, if you're familiar with the P07, the 009. I mean, these are very good quality firearms. And they're one of the few companies that I see that they not only make polymer firearms, but they also make steel firearms as well, which the CZ75s are basically steel. And also, the CZ75 is also the most copied firearm in the world next to the 1911. There are so many clones of this gun out there, and you really need to check out the history of it. So, if you get a chance, take a look at CZ. Okay, moving right along. What I see a trend in is this category is called Product of the Year. Product of the Year to me has been really interesting because uh, we've known this product to be involved with competition shooting, and that's optics. Whether this optic here is a Strike Eagle, and it's a Vortex Strike Eagle. The thing about this is that a lot of people used to use these optics just as a hunting tool, and now they're used in competition in three gun matches. And I've been using this optic just to train with. It's a very good entry level optic. Over here is my Glock 41, and as you see here, there's an optic on here. This is also another Vortex product. This is my Vortex Venom. And the big trend now that's going on with optics is that most firearms companies, such as Glock, and like I showed you earlier with Springfield Armory, and there's companies like Springfield Armory, Glock, FN, even Smith and Wesson. They a lot of their Pro series, they all have made cutouts. It used to be back in the day, you just have to take the slide, send it somewhere, and you have to have it milled so it can take an optic, and it costs you a lot of money. Now, companies like Glock and others are basically having it milled automatically for you. So all you have to do is just put this optic on, and that's what you see now. It's a growing trend, and not only just for optics for handguns, they're just optics for ARs and generals. I use this back and forth with my MMP 15. Uh, a lot of people are using these for their ARs and so forth. It's a This is not a magnified dot scope, but it's a dot scope, and pretty much a lot of people are liking these type of scopes. That's what I'm trying to point out. There's optics are very much a big deal in the gun market right now. And last but not least, the award for Man of the Year has to go to Wayne Lapierre. If you don't know who he is, you should know who he is. He is the one of the big proponents of guns and firearms for our freedoms. He's been with the NRA for the longest time, and I need to be ashamed of myself. I gotta send in my membership dues, and I really need to do this because this year he was very instrumental in the presidential election, trying to get candidates and congressmen and senators who support the NRA to step up for our gun rights, especially in states like California that are really have some really crazy restrictive rules. So, in closing, I hope you kind of like this little video award ceremony. I'm sorry about the backdrop. I'm not a professional. I just like to do this for fun. And, it's fun for me to do these reviews. And hopefully, this year, 2017, I can up my game and do a better production. So happy shooting, folks. Take care.